2020 coming to an end, I have been doing a lot of reflecting on this past year, this past unprecedented year, and I have decided to do my first vlog explaining the things that I have learned about myself and others. So, 10 things that I have learned this year. First, I have learned that I am very easily influenced. That's probably the biggest thing that I have learned about myself. I watched The Social Dilemma and I see how the world is kind of being pulled in a ton of directions because of social media, and I try to avoid, especially politics online, I try to avoid anything controversial in my life, but I'm still influenced by social influencers, and I have spent way too much money on a whole lot of things that I don't need because I have completely given in to watching influencers try to sell me the products. Number 2, I rely on food to entertain me. And I know that the corn 15 has been the conversation, but now that we're like further into the year, I feel like that corn 15 is gonna just keep getting higher and higher, and I know that because I have not had a lot on my plate, I turn towards my kitchen, and it's something to occupy my time, and I need to figure out new ways to occupy my time. So if you have ideas, please share them because I am struggling. 3, along with eating, I also really actually have learned to enjoy working out, and almost to the point where I feel super guilty if I don't work out. I don't necessarily enjoy the process of the workout, but I enjoy how I feel after I work out, and so I have been working out every day, which hopefully has balanced with some of the food that I've been eating. One of the big things that I learned this year, especially with the major topics in this world, is I feel like people, including myself, need to be better about learning why people believe the way they believe. So you may not agree with their stance, and you don't have to agree with their stance, but you need to understand why they are in that position before you attack. And I feel like a lot of people have been really great about having cool, understanding conversations about, you know, very hot topics, and they delve deep into grasping why you feel that way. But there are a lot of people that are automatically hateful and vengeant, is that a word? I don't know, towards others because they immediately don't agree with them, and I just feel like fighting is not the way to solve anything. I think that we need to learn to understand each other and communicate better with each other. That's something that I've learned. It may not be correct, but I definitely think that that's a huge thing that has changed in my life. Another thing that I've learned is you could feel very alone still surrounded by people, and that has been a struggle here for me. My family's super supportive, super loving. They're just, you know, they want to be involved with everything, but I feel like we as people need a community, and my family, although they are my community, I need more. We have nothing to talk about because we are with each other constantly, and we don't have an outside community, and community is so important and such an important part of being a healthy individual. And I know that there are days that I would rather not ever see anybody. I have my introvert days and my extrovert days, but I really think that community is so important, and having me stuck at home, we're losing that opportunity to have a lot of community, and that has been really a struggle for me. I also have learned I'm a very anxious person. I calendar like crazy, I make lists like crazy, I feel like I have to be productive, and although that hasn't really changed, I have learned to be more patient with friends and family, I used to be the type of person who'd get really, really ticked off if somebody didn't respond to my text right away, or if they said that they were going to come at 7 and then they said, oh, I can't make it, or, you know, all that stuff used to really, really frustrate me and make me really, really angry, because I always thought it was like a consideration thing. But I have learned to be more patient with people, and we all have a lot of stuff going on in our lives, and we just may not know everything that's going on behind the scenes. And you know what? It's okay for somebody to kind of change their mind last minute and not want to hang out, because I think we've all been there. Like we have all these expectations of going to do something, and then the day comes and you're like, oh, I'm just not feeling it. I don't feel right about this day, blah, blah, blah. And I feel like I've learned to just be more patient with people and more understanding. If things don't work out, that's okay. There are other chances. Life may be short, but it's too short to be stressing about things like that. Find new things to do. One thing that I've really struggled with quarantine is I, for some reason, have developed a really, really bad insecurity in regards to friendships. And I know deep down that everybody's just going through it this year, but and we're not able to talk to each other. We don't have a lot going on, so there's not a lot to start a conversation with. But I have become very insecure with friendships because we don't have our typical ways of connecting, and so that has been something that I've been really, really struggling with. But I'm trying to remind myself constantly that the reason that things are the way they are is because of this pandemic, and it's not because my friends don't like me, it's not because of anything like that. It's just that we are at this standstill, and so that insecurity has been a huge struggle I've been dealing with, even with like my husband, who I've been with for 21 years, you know. I still have days where I'm like, does he even love me anymore? Because he's not like giving me 100%, and it's just because of that. It goes back to that feeling of kind of like loneliness and community that I think we all need. Something that has really helped me this year is just getting ready. I most days just stay in my pajamas with no makeup and don't do my hair and look a lot like a hobo, and I find that on those days that I don't get ready and don't do anything, I feel a little more down about myself. So on the days that I actually get up and get ready and plan for that day and actually get moving, I am a lot happier. And the main thing that I've learned this year is there's a lot of talk about mental health, and that's become more mainstream, and I think that's really important because I do think that people should discuss their mental health. But I also think that people tend to immediately think that just because they've been down for a while and things are a little bit hard, that they're struggling with mental health issues. And I've been there, especially this year, especially with my whole world basically being taken away from me. And I am allowed to be depressed and I'm allowed to be upset, and that doesn't mean that I'm mentally unstable. It just means that I'm now having to navigate my life in new ways, and it's going to take time and it's going to take new processes. And that's probably the biggest thing that I've learned this year is it's okay. It's okay for things to be hard. It's okay for us to struggle, and it's okay to be depressed when things aren't going your way. But it's also really important that if things aren't going your way, you are trying to navigate around that and trying to find your joy again. And that's what I hope this YouTube channel will continue to bring to me. And I thank everybody who has supported me, and I appreciate the comments, suggestions, and if you have anything to add that you've learned this year, or if you have any suggestions about how to navigate around any of these things that I've learned about myself, I'm all ears. Completely all ears. So please share them, and I hope that we can make 2021 a better year.